Okay, so let's wait for one more minute and then we can start. Uh, okay, so we have yeah 22 participants, and I think we're good to start. Okay, so let me first introduce myself. All of you already knows me, but we are going to record this session. So so first let me confirm, am I audible clearly, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you're
Okay.
audible. Yeah.
Yes, yes, Rajesh.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you. So I'm Rajesh, currently having around 5 years of experience in building Android applications and having 2 years of experience in using Jetpack Compose. So aside from development, regular development, I do write content on LinkedIn and Medium and Hashnode as well, and I take live sessions of related Android technologies. Okay. So today is our first day of the Jetpack Compose, and I'm excited to teach what I already knows and learn. What is this, Deepak? Okay, and learn learn a few things from you as well. Okay, and let me clear it again. I want this session to be as interactive as possible. Okay, so first what we will do is I will first explain the things. If you have a questions that needs an immediate answer, just ask the question, or else just note down the question, and we will discuss that question in our usual Q&A section after the session completes, so that won't break our regular flow. Okay, so with that being said, let me share my screen, and I'll show you what we are gonna discuss for today. Okay, okay. So is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, visible.
Okay, great. Okay, so and I think those who have already joined have access to this repository, right? Jetpack Compose Masterclass S01 because
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we have.
okay, so if anyone don't have access to it, just let me know in the group and I'll provide access. This is the repository that we are going to use the code that we are writing in coming days. Okay, so let's start the session. Uh, okay, so you already knows me, my LinkedIn and GitHub profile as usual. I'll share these slides with you all as well after this session completes. Okay, so you already know me, so like introduction is not required. Okay, so what is the today's agenda? So we are going to discuss three things. The first is what is Jetpack Compose, like a bit history about the Jetpack Compose. Have you started the recording? Yes, yes, we have started the recording. Okay. So the first thing is we're gonna discuss is what is Jetpack Compose, and the next one is how you can create your first project with the Jetpack Compose. Just give me a minute, guys. Sorry, a few folks are still joining. Okay. And then we are going to have a look at how you can build the basic layout, so like what are the fundamental building blocks in Jetpack Compose. Okay, so these are the three things that we are going to discuss in today's session. Since I do not have access to, okay, I'll provide the access later, no worries. Okay, so the first thing is what is Jetpack Compose? So this is the extract I have copied from official developer site. Jetpack Compose is Android's recommended modern toolkit for building native UI. It simplifies and accelerates UI development on Android development. Okay. So now what does this mean? So first, Mhm. It's quite irritating. Okay, so we have 28 people, right? Okay. So let's have a look about Jetpack Compose history. So, most of you already knows that Google announced Kotlin as a official language support for Android in around May, Google I/O 2017, right? Around May. So, okay, so now work on the on this Jetpack Compose was starting in the May 2017. Okay, so at that time it was known as a R4A, that is React for Android. Why? Because React was a components-based UI system. I think most of you, or maybe some of you, already know the React and React Native. So React was a component-based system where you can usually what you do is just create a component and reuse it whenever it's required. Okay, so React was present at that time. So Android team thought that, okay, why not build such things for Android as well? So this project kicked off in May 2017, and the developer that was working on this was Jim Spors. I will share his Twitter and all those links after the session completes. Okay, so the developer started working on Compose, that is, as I already mentioned, React for Android, and the motive was to allow Android developers to get rid of this XML based development and provide a component based development, because this trend would started kicking off in around 2016 and 17, that is component based development. Compose development started there, and then Google officially announced about the Jetpack Compose in 2019. Yeah, 2019. And since since then, we are slowly using Jetpack Compose in our applications as well. Okay. So, what is the need of a normal regular developer may ask, right? What is the need of this Jetpack Compose? I already have XML. I can build the cool UI with it. What is the need of this entirely new UI toolkit? So the answer could be there are lots of benefits. The first thing is language level UI. Okay, so what is the thing with the XML? With XML, you need to learn two things. The first is Java for writing your business logics and view models and repository and all those things. And the second is XML. You need to learn XML as well, right? For building the UI. So here the two tech stacks are there for developer to learn. With the Compose is Kotlin exclusive. So if you know if you only know Kotlin, then it's fine. You can just build the UI with the Kotlin. Okay. So this is the language level dependency. Here we are removing the XML entirely from the picture. That is the one thing. The second thing is with Compose, you can do more with the less code. Okay. So for example, let's say you want to write an image view. You want to build an image view that is circular in shape. For example, take an example of the profile picture. So if you want to build the profile picture image circular with the XML, you could either you could have to write some custom XML views, or you have to use the third party library. With but The same thing is dead simple in Compose. You just need to add the one line, that is a clip that you need to provide a circle shape to the clip modifier. Don't worry if this modifier and all these things are just going up in your heads, because I will explain it later. But to summarize, this is a one line code in Compose to make anything circular. Okay, so that is the do more with the less code. Okay, and the third benefit of the Compose is uh, what you can so you can do you the Compose is three fundamental building blocks, that is row. The first is row, the second is column, and the third is the box. Okay, so with all these things you can build whatever you want to build. Okay, any UI you want to build, you have to use these three things: either row, either column, or the box. These are the fundamentals to the Compose, and we will have a look at them later. So with these things in mind, if you master them correctly, you would be able to build any UI that is available. Okay, so are you changing slides? No, 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 I'm not changing slides. I'm just explaining. Okay, okay. So with this, yeah. So what I was talking about, yeah, fundamental building blocks. So Compose is three fundamental building blocks, and with these building blocks, you can build any UI you want, be it an kind of XML, sorry, Instagram or WhatsApp or Snapchat or anything. Of course, there are a lot of things involved, but these are the fundamental things. Okay, and the fourth benefit is isn't this inspired by the Flutter style of UI building. Okay, guys, can we skip it to the Q&A section because I don't think these questions are like really required to answer immediately, and it's kind of distracting. Okay, I'll answer it later. Okay, and the fourth benefit was yeah, so you can achieve more with the less code again, because let's say you want to implement a recycler view, a list of the items. So in XML, what you could do is either a list view or recycler view. So even with the recycler view, there are lots of lines of code. For example, you need to create your view holder and adapter and bind those things and all those things. Okay, it requires around uh, maybe around 20 to 50 lines of codes. Okay, and with the compose, it's a kind of a dead simple. So building a lazy layouts is a kind of play for the compose. Okay, so those are some benefits that Jetpack Compose provides. Okay, and again, as I've already mentioned, Compose is a component-based solution, and the world is moving towards the component-based solution. Okay, so it's a good time to learn the Jetpack Compose, implement in your applications, and build a great UI in Android. Because definitely, in my perspective, and even in Google's perspective, Jetpack Compose provide better UI, not actually better UI, but like it allows building faster UI on Android applications. Okay, so that is why learning Jetpack Compose is important. And as you already know, I think I've shared that link in group as well, that Google have mentioned that they will entirely focus on Compose in the future, and XML will like only receive critical bug fixes or kind of that things, and their major focus will be on the Jetpack Compose. So if you are going to be a Android developer, you need to learn the Jetpack Compose. Okay, so these are the things you need to know why you should learn Jetpack Compose. Okay, now the second thing is creating a Jetpack Compose project. So let me start my Android Studio, and we will have a look how you can create your Jetpack Compose project from the scratch. So I'm using the Android Studio Flamingo, that is canary build. Some of you may be using Dolphin, some of you may be using Electric Eel, or some of you might still stuck on Chipmunk. But like I'm using the Flamingo build for, because it has the latest support for the Jetpack Compose. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so to start a new Android Jetpack Compose project, yeah, and some of you might wondering why this Android Studio looks like this. Okay, so basically this is a new UI that is supposed to be on IntelliJ based IDs, and as you know, Android Studio is based on the IntelliJ IDE. I have enabled the new UI to, and it looks cool to me, right? And like compared to better than the it's better than the original UI that is here. You have menus and all those things. Okay, so to start the new Compose project from the scratch, what you can do, you can go to file and new, and then click on new project. you can click on empty activity, or either if you are on like uh, what to say, build like electric eel or dolphin, you will find the option is empty compose activity. Okay, so you will find empty compose activity, but like I'm on the latest canary build of the flamingo, it says empty activity. Nevertheless, you will find this jetpack compose icon. Okay, so you have to click on it, click on next, provide your uh, application metadata, that is name, package name, save location, minimum SDK. I'm selecting the Nugget and click on finish. Okay, so once you do it, you Android Studio will create uh, just give me a minute. Okay, so Android Studio will create a new Jetpack Compose project, and you will get you will get few things automatically added to your project. That is, the first thing you notice is, if you are about to create a new Android project, your main activity will extend the app compate activity, right? But here in the Compose project, it's extending the component activity. Why? Because app compate activity is built for XML based UI, and that activity is also extend this component activity. Okay, so that's why Jetpack Compose extend this component activity. This is the first thing you would notice switching from the XML to the Compose based project. Now you have our traditional on create method, super class call, super dot on create, and the things are going to change from here. You can see the set content thing here. Okay, so you might wonder what is all these things. Okay, so we will discuss this later, but this is the, okay, am I audible correctly, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we have this thing surface and color and modifier and this function call, and this function has some annotation called composable. It takes few arguments. Here we have another composable function called at the rate preview. These are the auto generated code. Along with this code you will get three another file. Okay, and if you are, again, if you are on a lower build, that is electric eel or a dolphin, you will get the four generated file, color, theme, type, and the fourth would be shape, but it's removed in the material 3 design. Okay, so you will only get the three files. So if you go to the color.kt file, you can find the package name, the one import statement, and these are the some colors defined. Okay, these are some color defined. And if you go to the theme section, you can see a list of dark color scheme, list of the light color scheme. Here is one function called my application theme, that is basically your application name and suffixed with the theme. So here you can see dark theme, dynamic color, content, and fee. This function, uh, I think most of you are familiar with the Lambda functions, right? Is there anyone who don't know the what is Lambda functions, like higher order functions? Okay, so I guess everyone is familiar. Okay, so here you can see that this function is taking another function as a parameter, right? And there are some code written, color scheme, and view and blah 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 and all these things, and finally the material theme functions is called. Okay, now if you go to the type uh, file, you can see there are some typography defined. Okay, so basically what these things are, in XML world it was defined in the resource values, and here, right, colors and themes and all those things. If you like, if you are going to start a XML project, you will get something like this, color.xml, and here your colors are defined, right? Again, in your theme file you can define your theme, that is we have defined in the kt file, because we have no concept of the using like xml in compose. So that's why, and here we have string file. So if you notice, there is no folder called layout. Okay, there is no layout directory as you would find in your xml browse project, because we are not going to build our UI with xml. we are only going to build the UI with the pure Kotlin code. Okay, so it might be like now for the pure freshers, it might be difficult to grasp because they have only heard that okay, you can build UI with the XML. So that's not the thing here. So that is why layout folder is not here, because we don't need that layout UI written in the XML. Okay, so this is a bit about the package structure of a new project. Now if you go to okay, and on these drawables, I'm just keeping the things that are common in XML and Compose, right? Because this drawable is common, map is common, XML this is not required, values are common, okay, but there is no layout directory. Okay, if we now move to the Gradle script, first have a look at the project level Gradle script, and you can find three plugins here: com.android.application, com.android.library, and Kotlin dependency, right? Sorry. And if you go to the app level Gradle file, uh, there are two plugins. The namespace, I think some of you might not know it, so let me explain. What happened is we used to create our package name, application package name in the Android manifest file, right? But that thing is deprecated in favor of the declaring our package name in the build file, that is build.gradle app level build file. So you won't find any package name here in the manifest file. So that is moved to the build file. Okay, so that is what this namespace suggests. Okay, now compile SDK 33, application ID you already know, it is used by the Gradle. Minimum SDK is 24, there is no good. Target SDK, version code, version name, test instrument runner, vector drawable. Okay, this is again common for XML and Compose. Compiler option is common, Kotlin option is common, build feature. Yeah, this thing is new here in this build file. See, we are going to use the Compose, so that's why we need to declare this property in build file. So Gradle can know that okay, this is a Compose based project. Inside the build features block, you need to write compose equal to true. This is a groovy file, so we will just write compose space true. Okay, but in Kotlin file you could do something like this. Okay, so this is important for all the compose based project, because this is why Android and Gradle will know that this is a compose based project. This thing, okay, yeah. And here we are providing options that is specific to Compose, Jetpack Compose. Here we are what we are providing, we are providing the Kotlin compiler extension version. Basically we are providing the Compose compiler version. So see, Compose is a collection of the five artifacts. Okay, so Jetpack Compose is not just the UI. Okay, so it's a collection of the five artifacts. The first is Compose runtime. The second is Compose compiler. The third is Compose UI. Fourth is Compose foundation, and fifth is maybe material design. I'm not sure, but maybe material design it was. Okay, so material design 3. I think the name is different here. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are providing the version number of the Compose compiler, because Compose compiler will compile all the code that we have written using the Compose UI and Compose the foundation. Okay, so here we are providing the Compose compiler version, that is 1.3.2. Packaging option is common for all things. Okay, now we have our simple dependency block. Here we are implementing and core KTX library, lifecycle, and activity. Okay, this is new dependency. Activity compose, because our activity needs to interact with the compose library. Okay, so see, basically, what happens is Jetpack Compose is a library. So in the past, what happened was we were building UI with the XML. So in the case of XML, when you build and run your application uh, on the device, be it an emulator or physical device, your device, your Android system already knows that okay, these are the views created in XML, and these are the views, these are the possible views, be it a text view or image view or anything. So your I mean to say that your device already knows about those views, but Compose is not integrated with the OS. Compose is a standalone library, and they are not going to integrate with the Android OS. Why? Because if you integrate anything with the Android OS, then it's a tight coupling, right? Let's say for example, if I have integrated Compose in Android 11, okay, and I want to provide a critical bug fix update. So if I have integrated with the Android OS, I will only get that update when I update to the Android 12. Okay, so this is a major issue with the XML thing, and that is why Compose is created as a standalone library. So you can just update it anytime you want, and it won't affect your host OS. So so they are basically five libraries given with a common name, that is Compose, Jetpack Compose. Okay. So, and now your activity needs to work with the compose libraries. That is why we have to use this extra dependency called activity compose. Okay. And now again, you can see this line: implementation platform, Android X, compose, bomb. What is this? You might think like this, what is this bomb and all this? Okay. So is there anyone who is not familiar with this style of declaring dependency, that is bill of material kind of things? If so, I can explain, or else I can just skip it.
Yes, Rajesh, can you please explain?
Yeah, sure, sure. Okay. So what happens is, let's say I'm declaring, let's say as I already mentioned, compose is five artifacts, okay, and I want to use it. So let's say I'm declaring their versions like this: 1.1, 1.2, 1.0, 1.3, and again 1.0. Let's say I want to use these versions, okay, and let's suppose I want to update my application. Okay, I want to there is a new update for the material design 3. You update it to something like this 1.2, and you find that your build is failing because material 3 has some changes which is not compatible with all these libraries. Okay, so with the one update your entire build is failing. Okay, so to avoid this a different version for each dependencies, what you can do, this is basically a concept from the Maven, Apache Maven, that is you can provide the bill of material, that is BOM. Okay, so with this, what you can do, you can just provide the BOM version. Let's say I'm providing 1.0, and internally what it will do, what Google team will do is, let's say they will publish the BOM version 1.0, and then they will publish all five library which are compatible with each other. You don't need to know about their exact version. So you just need to tell that okay, I want runtime, I want compiler, I want UI, I want foundation and material 3. I don't care about the exact version, because it is designed to work with each other without any issues. So you just provide the bill of material number here instead of the separate dependency version for each dependency. That is concept from the Apache Maven and incorporated into Gradle as well. So here we are using the Compose version, that is the October release. Okay, so Compose team has started adapting this new version schema called year, month, and day and date. Okay, initially I think around 4 to 5 months ago, we were using something like this around, yeah, 4 to 5 months ago. I'm not quite sure, but it was around that time we were using something like this. But recently they have introduced the bill of material concept in Composite well, and it is really useful in our applications. Okay, so here you can see I'm not providing any dependency version, right? I'm just saying that I need Compose UI graphics, UI tooling, and material 3. And then there is one test implementation. Android test implement. Okay, these are pretty simple. Test implementation, Android test, debug, and debug implementation. Okay, so these are the Gradle files. Android X Compose UI UI. Uh, I'm seeing this type of declaration here. Okay, so where are you saying this? It's just simple. Okay, so you can either you can use bill of material kind of setup, or if you want you can specifically provide the dependency version as well. Okay, but here you may or may not get a conflict between each dependencies, so it's better to use the BOM implementation, so all your dependencies will work without any issues. Okay, so this is a standard declaration we used to do. Okay. uh, okay, so we had a look at the build file, Gradle file, Android manifest file, and some UI auto generated UI files, that is three theme file, and the one is main activity. Okay, so okay, so this is how you create your first project in Android Studio, and I've explained the structure of the project. Okay, now we are coming to the basic layouts, building the basic layout with the Jetpack Compose. Okay, so in Jetpack Compose, we are going to have a look at what is composable, what is preview, what is row, sorry, column, box, and modifier. Okay, so first start with the composable. What is these things? Okay, so as you can notice, in above these functions, I have written something like this: at the rate composable. Okay, so this composable returns to this annotation. So what it does is every compose function that produce the UI. Let's say I write a function, uh, uh, text view. Okay, let's say I write function. Okay, this is a standard Kotlin function. It does not produce any UI. If it wants to produce any UI, it needs to be annotated with the composable. Okay, and it comes from the androidx.compose.runtime. Okay, it comes from this runtime. If you annotate a function with composable, then only it will emit the UI on your Android application screen. Otherwise, it's a normal Kotlin function. This way, Compose compiler know that okay, it can differentiate that okay, this function needs to emit UI, and this is a standard regular Kotlin function. Okay, if you want to produce UI, you need to mark your function with the composable. Let's say and as I mentioned, uh, compose provide component based UI. Okay, so there are components for anything, be it a text view, text sorry edit text field, image view, uh, or what you can see, button or chip, or a toggle. Okay, so these are, you consider these things as a component. Okay, this you can declare your one text view and use it anywhere you want. Let's say you want to declare your text view in one file and you want to use it 5 times in your project, so you just create your component once and use it whenever you want. Okay, for the basic things, most basic things, foundational things, Compose provide these things inbuilt. Let's say you want to create a text view. It's a most basic thing, and you should not be creating yourself. That is why Compose is providing some default implementation for all these things that are most basic, and you can customize it according to your need. Okay, so for example, if you want to write some text, so Compose provide one composable called text. Okay, so let's try to do it. So let's write some text, and okay, we got this suggestion. Okay, and in the text parameter, it accept the either string or annotated string. So let's say hi. I wrote the hi. Let's say I removed it. Okay, so now it will, I've created this function and tried to invoke a composable function that produce the UI. because this produce the UI, right? I want to show the text view. That show means I want to show something on the screen. It means it produce the UI. High level element that display text. Okay, but I'll get the error. What is the error? At the rate composable invocation can only happen from the context of a composable invocation. That simply means if I want to produce UI, I need to call this function that is annotated with the at the rate composable. So I need to annotate my function with the composable, and now it's fine. Okay, so now I can see uh, it allowed compiler allowed me to use this text building blocks in my file. Okay, so this is something like I can do. Okay, so you got the idea, right? Like what is composable? If you want to a simple thing, if you want to produce any UI, you need to mark your function as a composable function. This is the way for the compiler to know that this function produce the UI and this does not. Okay, so any confusion or doubt in the case of composable annotation?
Any restriction on what code can you write inside the composable function?
Yeah. So, like you can do anything. You can do a calculation or UI. Okay, let's say I want to declare a variable. We will come to this later in details as well. But let me just show you. Let's say, well, a equal to 5 plus 5. Okay, and I want to display that thing. A dot toString. You can do this as well, right? You can do any UI or any calculation or any network call, anything. You can do anything. But if you are emitting the UI, you need to mark it with the composable. If I don't want to emit UI, I can remove the composable. But if you want, if your function is emitting UI, you need to mark that with composable. Beside from that, there is no restriction. You can do any calculations or long running operations or a network a request or anything. Of course, that limits um, network request and DB read operation should not be run on main thread. That applies to composable as well. But you can do that thing with proper like architecture as well with the composable. There is no restriction. If you just if you want the simple rule is if you want to produce any UI, you need to mark it with the composable. That is the most simple rule. Okay. Now our second thing is a second topic is a preview. Okay, so let's say I build these things. Okay, how would I know how it looks? How would I know how it looks? So to view the things without, okay, so in XML what happened was in your layout directory you write your UI, and there was one a layout tool here on the right pane that shows you how your UI looks. Okay, but there is no such tool in Compose, right? So how would I know that how it looks? So to mitigate that thing, Compose provide another solution called the preview. So let's say I want to see how it looks. So what I need to create another function called fun preview. I'm just naming it like this. You can use any random name. Okay. I need to mark this function as composable because it emits the UI. All right. I want to call this function. It emits the UI and I want to see how it looks. So I need to mark it as a preview. Okay. So if I mark it as a preview, Android Studio will know that okay, I want to see how it looks, and it will create a preview for it. Okay. And if you okay, just give me a minute. I think Gradle is changed. Okay, okay, we are fine. Okay. So I want to see the preview. So what you can do, you can just you can either only see the preview inline within the Android Studio, or you can just deploy that thing to your device. Let's say I want to see how it looks on Android Studio. So you go to this split button visible to everyone, right? this split button.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
you just click on it and Android Studio will show you the preview. Let me just build the uh, let me just build the project, and I think we are good to see the preview. Okay, so now it will show this preview here, and as this is a component, it will only show the text because we are only writing the text block here inside our function, our composable function. So once it builds, let me show you how it works. So the first build will obviously take some time. Mm, okay, okay. See, this preview is here as well, right? So let me just comment it out. Okay. So here you can see the hi is written, right? Hi is written. It's a most basic the text, simple text. Hi is written because I want to see the preview of it. Now let's say I want to see the text and one button. So again, button is a fundamental thing, right? So Compose provide a solution for that button composable. This is this button. What it does, it accept the on-click method, like what you want to do when user click on button and the content. Let's say material design button. Just mm, let me show you the most basic things. Okay, so this is a button, right? This is a button. So what it does, it has this button, and there is some text written on it, right? This is the UI of the button, that is this I think a violet color, the violet color of the button, and there is one text written on it, right? But no, this is the text. These are the two composable. These are the two things. If you want to think about it, these are the two things. One is button, and the second is text written on it. Okay. So Compose provide button annotation. What you want to write on it, that depends on you. I want to write something like uh, my button. Okay, but this is a plain string, right? This is a plain string. And what button accept, if you go to the its definition, in the content parameter, it accept the composable function, right? It accept the composable function. And I think most of you knows this syntax, but for those who don't know, if there is the last parameter of the function is a higher order function, you can provide that value inside the this parenthesis. This is a Kotlin concept, not new to Compose. Okay, so this button accept the composable function. So I cannot just provide the string because it's invalid, and I want to write some text. Okay, so what solution we have in Compose to write the text? Of course, the text composable. So I will copy it, write it something like this, and provide the this way. Okay, so this means that I want one button on click. As of now, I don't want to do anything, and then uh, I want a text inside that button, that is with the string my button. You can see this my button, right? Okay, if you remove it, there will just be like overview of the overview of the button, because I'm not providing anything. It's just a plain normal button. Okay. Okay, so you can see this is a plain button and I want to write something on it. I need to provide the text composable. This is how you can provide the uh, you can build the a basic button. Okay, so now let's say I want to see the we are just experimenting with the default composables as of now. Okay, now let's say I want to write one uh, text field, edit text field. So what Compose provide multiple options for that, and one of them is text field. Okay, so for the value, let's say I will write edit text field, and on value change as of now, just keep it. Okay, uh, okay, annotation. Okay, no issue. Okay, so now it should show me three components, that is text, button, and the text field. And one thing you might have noticed is, see, this button overlap this text composable. Hi, button, and the text, and this text field will even overlap both of these. See, I got the edit text field, but it already overlapped the these two things, text and my button. But I just want to show you that okay, these are the few different composables, inbuilt composables available with which you can build the UI. So now I have the text edit text field, so I can write anything on it. Okay, so I'm just seeing the preview of it. Okay, so any questions until this in basic composable or either preview or either composable annotation? Any questions on this? Okay. Okay, Rahul has raised the question hand. Okay, so Rahul, you can ask away.
यस सर सर मेरे दो क्वेश्चन हैं। एक तो ये लाइक जैसे हम एक्सएमएल में प्रीव्यू में देखते हैं तो उसमें हमारी इस मोबाइल की स्क्रीन टाइप का प्रीव्यू रहता है एंड
Mm-hmm.
यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक सिंगल कंपोनेंट लाइक कंपोजेबल का प्रीव्यू है
Mm-hmm. Okay,
एंड
yeah, okay, please. और दूसरा क्वेश्चन?
सेकंड ये है कि जैसे एक्सएमएल में हमारा प्रीव्यू लाइक इतना टाइम नहीं लेता लेकिन यहाँ पे रेंडर होने में टाइम लेता है तो ये क्या एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो का इश्यू है या और कोई
Okay, okay. So let me answer those questions. So what Rahul is asking is he has two questions. The first is if you see the preview, if it's an XML based project and if you see the preview, it will show you the preview of the entire mobile screen. But here we are seeing only the preview of the single or individual composable. So why is that? And his second question is. This preview thing is taking a lot of time in this compose project. So is this an issue with the compose or android studio or what is it? Okay, so to answer your first question, the like you are familiar with the english, right? Because other speak
यस सर
okay, great. So to answer your first question, why you are seeing this preview of the individual components, because you have only asked for it. See, what compose do is it provides whatever you ask. If you ask a preview of the single component, it will only show the preview of the single component. If you ask it about the entire mobile screen, it will show you the preview of the entire screen. That's why we called all these things, be it compose or react native. Okay, we called it declarative UI. You have to declare what you want. Here you have just asked preview about this component, so it will only show you these things. You have to explicitly declare what you want. Let's say I want to show the preview of the entire mobile screen. So I have to ask Compose that please show me the preview of the entire screen. What is this scaffold? We will get back to it later. Okay. So here we are asking. Okay. So in a pairing, just give me a minute. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Just give me a minute. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay. So here I'm asking that show me the preview of the entire screen. Okay. So now you can see the preview of entire screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is why these things are called declarative UI. It will only do the things whatever you have asked. Initially, we had asked to show the preview of all these things only. That's why it showed a individual composable. Now I'm asking that show me the preview of the entire mobile screen using the scaffold. So now it's showing me the preview of the entire mobile screen. This does answer to your first question. And the second question was why it's taking so much time. Okay, so it depends on few things. The first thing is of course it's a compose is a kind of, you can say, new. It's not new, but it's not as mature as XML, right? So this Android Studio is gradually adding more and more support of it. If you are on electric eel or dolphin or chipmunk, you will even get the slower version of it, because that Android Studio lacks support of the this preview, inbuilt preview faster. It shows the preview, but it's kind of a slower. So as the Android Studio will mature with the compose support, the preview will become faster and faster. As of now, this is the thing.
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay.
you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, great.
भैया एक चीज था।
Mm-hmm.
हाँ भैया वही बोल रहा था कि मतलब अगर हम सोर्स सिस्टम यूआई अगर वो प्रीव्यू में दे देते थे तो उसमें भी तो ऐसे स्क्रीन आ जाता है मतलब पूरा।
हाँ हाँ, ये like you are asking like this, right? Show system UI true. Okay, right?
हाँ या
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So just give me a minute. Okay. So you can do this as well. Let me remove some errors first. Okay. So you can do this as well. But as I said, Compose will show what you have asked. Here again, we are asking that preview function to show the system UI. Okay. So yeah, this is a good point, Sitam. Ankit, just give me a minute. So this is good point. Yeah. So if you want to show the system UI, you can do something like this as well, and it will show the things. Or else, if you want to see the your entire scaffold screen, you can use like this as well, like using the scaffold composable and wrapping your text view inside the scaffold. Or else, if you don't want to do it, you can just pass this parameter, that is show system UI equal to true. And if you want to see if okay, so if I don't want to show this entire system UI, but I want to just show the background. Okay, so this is see where it is visible. Let me show you the different things. Okay, so here I am only outputting the one simple text. I have commented out the button and text field, and I am passing that show background equal to true. So it will show the background along with the text in my preview. Here you can see the white background, right? White background and the text written on it. If I remove it, it will show the composable only. It will remove the background. So these are the some settings that you can apply to your preview. Okay, so here you can see it's a plain raw composable containing the text. So you can do this as well, and you can go to the definition of it and see the uh, available parameters for the preview. Okay, why we annotate text view function with opt-in material 3? Okay, so Ankit, this is why you have raised the hand, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so why you need to write it? Because as you know, material 3 is the latest design library from the Google. If you had
Yeah.
to use material 2, let's say, if I remove the this thing, okay, let's say I don't want to use the material 3, I just want to use the material 2 that is introduced with the lollipop. Let's say we want to do something like this. We want, if here we are using the material 2 library that Google introduced with the Android lollipop, that is Android 5. Okay, so that thing is mature and APIs are stable. Okay, if that is the thing, we don't need to annotate it. we don't we don't need all these things, because we are using the components from the, see these things went red, right? Because initially I was using the text composable from the material 3 package, and now I'm using from the material 2. That so I again need to import it. Let's say import composable. If I go to the definition, you can see the package is androidx.compose.material, right?
Yeah.
And all these things need to be imported from the material 2, material theme. Okay,
Okay.
so these things will get messy because material 3 and material 2 has some difference. So that is why and material we here we are using the material 3 library, and it's quite new, so the APIs are not actually well stable. That is why we need to opt in for the those APIs are marked with the sorry, those APIs are marked with the experimental annotation, and we need to opt in. Okay, see this opt in is a Kotlin requirement, not the compose, because this material APIs are marked with the experimental. Let me show you. If I click on it, now it will navigate to the androidx.compose.material 3, right? Here it is material,
Yeah.
that is 2, and this is material, and these APIs are evolving. That's why we need to this text is not evolving, right? Text is you can see no experimental thing here. But if you do this thing, button and text field, if you go to text field is still Google team thinks that text field is still evolving. That's why they have placed this annotation experimental material 3 API, and we need to opt it. Okay,
Okay.
this is why this things is here. Okay,
Okay. Thanks.
yeah, welcome. Okay, so Uh, okay, so this is how basic UI system work in Compose. We have basic composable text, button, text field, and all those things. Okay, now we have covered composable and preview annotation. Okay, so any questions till now on these things? Okay, so I think everyone is clear. If you have any question, you can just ask in the Q&A section. Now we are moving to the basic things, that is row, column, and box in Composable. So what are those things? Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so now I okay, let's say I want to what is the error? Okay, so I'm importing the material library. Okay, so let me remove these things. Okay, so I have written three things. The one is a text, one is a button, and one is text field. But I am only seeing the edit text field. Why? Where did these two things went? So this here comes the concept of the row, column, and the box in the compose. So sorry. So let's have a look at all those things. Okay, because here you can see you have written three things, but it's only outputting the, actually it's outputting all of these three things, but this text field has overlapped on these two things. So now let's have a look at the fundamental building blocks of the UI in Compose, that is row, column, and the box. So first we will go with the row. So let me use our plain old MS Paint and okay, So, in real world, okay, so what do you understand by row in real world? Can anyone like tell me what is the row?
Like aligning views horizontally.
Right, correct. So in a row, what we do is let's say these are our views. So a row is something lining view in horizontally. So this is a row, right? This is a row. And again same okay, so the same concept is in compose. That is, when you want to line views horizontally, you need to use a row composable. Compose provide the default implementation for all these things: row, column, and the box. Okay, so if you want to align your views horizontally, you need to use the row composable. And by the column, okay, so now what about column? Can anyone tell me what is the column in real world?
Like aligning views like
Vertically.
vertically.
Right, correct. So this is the column. This is the column in in a real world. Okay, so be it anything, it's an Excel column or a table column or anything. Okay, here we are aligning the views vertically. So again, let's say if you want to align the views vertically, you need to use the column. Okay, so here what happens is we have written three things: text, after button, and then the text field. Here we have provided three components, but we have not provided the alignment. We have not told the compose that how I want this view. Just merely just writing three things linearly won't provide the alignment. You have to explicitly tell to compose. Again, this is why this framework's called declarative. You have to explicitly ask. Okay, so it might look like kind of it might looks a bit difficult because you might think that okay, I'm getting all these things automatically aligned in XML. Why this is difficult? But actually this is very useful once you understand the concept. So here we want to write things. Okay, we want to see things in a vertical manner. Let's say we want to see things first text view, then button, and then the edit text field. Okay, so what composable we will use?
Of course, column.
Okay, right. Of course, column, right? So if you write the column, the Android Studio will show you the suggestion, and you select this option column. Okay, if you go to its definition, what it says: a layout composable that place its children in vertical sequence like this. This is understand. Okay, so this column is understand this outer container. Okay, and it place its children in a vertical sequence, that is 1, 2, and 3. If I move now all of these things to column, everything will be visible. Let's see the preview. I have moved all these things in a column, so everything will be visible. Initially only the text field will be visible, right? See here, you can see everything is visible. Got it? The first is a text, that is this one. The second is button, this button, and the third is edit text field. Here you can see edit text field. Okay, so this is the concept of the column in the real world, aligning the views uh, vertically. The same way this column align the views vertically in a compose world. This is one below it, and this things is below it again. Okay, so this is why we use column. Now let's say let me write it column example, preview column example. Let's say I want to align these things horizontally like this. Let's say I want to use this text view, then button, and then edit text. So what I will do, I will wrap them inside the uh, just give me a minute, a row. I will wrap them inside the row. instead of the column. Okay. And let me see the preview of it as well. A row example, preview, row example. Okay, now it will show me two previews, one for column example and one for a row example. So let's see how it looks in real world. So if you just I'll show you these things in emulator as well, so how it looks on the device. Okay, so these are the inline previews you can see in Android Studio. And let's let it build, and I'll show you how it looks in emulator. Okay, so the column is used for aligning the views vertically like this. So see why I say yeah, most of the time that Compose is very intuitive, right? Because it like it aligns with the real world. In real world, column has vertical things and row has horizontal things. So same thing happens in the Compose. Column composable aligns the views vertically and row aligns the horizontally. Here you can see this is column preview and this is the row preview. So this is the text, this one, and on the right side there is one button, and on the again right side this is a text field. So these are all these things are not in center, but basically they are in a row, right? Like this, one thing after it, second thing, and after it the third thing. So the first thing, second thing, and third thing. Let's say I want to see these things in how it look my, let's say I have created this composable and how it looks on my application. So here is one icon, gutter icon called run preview column example. So if I click on it, what it will do, it will start the emulator or your physical device, whatever you have connected. Okay, and it will show how it looks on the actual device. So the things about the like a benefit of Composable is you don't need to create your entire UI to deploy your application. You can just see your this is previous sorry, previous UI. Okay, so don't worry about it. It's just Gradle is build running. Okay, so the beauty of the Compose is you can deploy this single preview, even this single preview to the device and see how it looks. So let's see how this column example looks on the actual device. So once this Gradle build finish, we will see. Okay, so let's say I don't want to increase the loading, so I just close the split plan. So let's keep the code so it will be faster. Okay, so let Gradle install these things. So with the Compose you can deploy a little preview on the device as well to see how it looks on actual device. Okay, so this is the fundamental concept of the rows and the columns. So we will explore more on it soon, like how you can build the things. Okay, let me just build it. Okay, okay. So, okay, so column and row is clear for everyone, or you need like you need more explanation for this. We will definitely look at more example, but is it clear for everyone? Like what is row and what is column?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
like I'm asking everyone, right? If you don't know it, like if you have any doubt, you can just say, and I'll try to explain in bit details. Okay. Okay, so now it's installing. Let's see how it looks on actual device. Okay, now our application will be installed. Okay, so here you can see the preview on actual device. If you okay, if this is your application, you have written only this. If you try to run you on mobile, it will look like this. Let me hide the device frame. Okay, so it will like this. Hi, this text, and below it my button, and below it the edit text field, because we have wrapped it in inside the column. And we have now for this row composable we have wrapped it inside the row. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, now on let's say in the column, these things are not aligned, right? This text view is here, my button is here, and edit text is filling up the whole space. So let's say we want to align it. So there are two things, horizontal and vertical, right? Horizontal means like this line, this is horizontal, and this is the vertical. This is for row, this is for column. Okay, and another two important concept, alignment and arrangement. These are the basic things you need to learn, because based on this your entire application will depend one or more way. Okay, so alignment and arrangement. So if you go to the column definition, you can see vertical arrangement. Okay, vertical arrangement, because column is vertical structure. You can arrange things, like let's say I want to arrange it in top or center or bottom. And in case of alignment, it's a horizontal alignment. Let's say I want to place things here. Just give me a minute. Let's say this is a column. Okay, so what arrangement in case of column, what arrangement refers? It's a vertical arrangement. Let's say I want to place things here, all these things here or here. This is the vertical arrangement. And what is alignment? Where I want to align. I want to align like here or here or here. This is the alignment. The in case of column, arrangement is vertical and alignment is horizontal. Or in case of row, this is vice versa. Arrangement is horizontal and alignment is vertical, because let's say we have this row. Okay, so arrangement is horizontal, where I want to arrange here, here or here. This is the arrangement in case of row, horizontal arrangement. And here alignment is vertical, where I want to align. Let me zoom it to get the more idea. Okay, in case of row, where do I want to vertically align? At here, either at here or here, right? You get the idea, right? Why the what is this alignment and arrangement? In case of column, we will see both of these things in code soon. But in case of column, arrangement is vertical and alignment is horizontal. In case of row, uh, arrangement is horizontal and alignment is vertical. So if you want to remember it, you can just remember that arrangement is same as how the structure looks in regular physical world. Arrangement is same as row looks horizontal, right? So arrangement is horizontal, and column looks vertical, so the arrangement is vertical. Arrangement is basically same as how this structure look in physical, and alignment is the other things. Let's say row looks horizontal in real world, so arrangement is horizontal and alignment is vertical. While column looks vertical in real world, so arrangement is vertical and alignment is horizontal. So let's have a look at both of these things. Let's say, okay, so let me ask you one question to check, like whether what I've explained is you got it or not. Or let's say this is our composable, right? One text, one button, and one edit text field. So I want to build a UI like this. This is my column, this is my text, this is my button, and this is my edit text. So as you can see here, all of these things are starting with the left side, and I want to make them in center. So what should I use, alignment or arrangement?
arrangement.
Okay.
Alignment.
Alignment to center.
Okay, great. Anyone else? Because this is just to check that whether you got the idea of arrangement and alignment, because these are the basic things and you will use it in almost, or no, if not almost, most composable functions. Okay, so see here what we are doing, here what we are doing is we are making these things horizon like this horizontally. Okay, this is horizontal row, this is horizontal row, and this is horizontal row. So what, here we are aligning the things horizontally. See, we are aligning the things. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Alignment, horizontal alignment equal to alignment dot sorry, no, sorry, I misinterpreted. Okay, so he just give me a minute. Here we are placing the items vertically. Okay, so let's say we are placing the items vertically. So this is vertically one, this is second, and this is the third. Okay, so we are not using this pan, not using this pan, but here we are using the center. So let's try to arrange item in a center. Let's say vertical, and see if we are right or not. Arrangement equal dot center. Let's say we want we have provided that vertical arrangement equal to arrangement dot center. Let's say if we are right or wrong. Let's validate our understanding. Okay, and let me render the preview. As of now, just for the row, let me just hide it. Okay, I think I got the message. No.
Hi Rajesh.
Yeah, hi Praveen.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Why are we passing default modifier? Is there any reason for that?
for here.
Yes.
Okay, so modifier is something, I think you already know it. That's why you are asking, but we will definitely come to it later.
Okay.
So
Okay.
uh, yeah, so this is like a common pattern to pass the default modifier to this is just for those who knows compose. Okay, for those who don't know, I will come it to later. So this is a common pattern to pass a default modifier to child composable to let your parent composable define how to place and how it looks. Okay, so that is why you should almost in almost every composable function you should pass the default modifier. If you go to this composable provided by the compose, like for example text, it takes default modifier, right? If you go to the button, it takes the default modifier, or be it anything text field, it takes the default modifier. If you go to the column, it takes the default modifier. Why? Because it allows your parent composable to define how it looks and feels. Okay, so that is why your child composable should always use the default modifier and align it to your uh, root composable. Let's say for example, for this child composable, root composable is column, so you should do something like this. Okay, so here a preview can decide how these things will look. Okay, here preview can decide how. Let's say preview, this is parent composable, right, and this is child composable. So let's say preview want these things to be fixed size, so it to let it decide modifier equal to modifier dot height. Let's say it want a height of 100 dp, right? Okay, now this column will be of 100 dp. Whether this things is visible or not, the column will be of 100 dp, because here we are allowing parent composable to define how the child composable will look. That is why it is recommended to pass the default modifier to every composable. Okay.
Okay, Raj. Thank you.
Okay, so it looks we are wrong, right? Or let's say uh, if we have tried to write the vertical arrangement equal to arrangement dot center, and these things are still here. Let's do other way. Horizontal alignment dot center horizontally. Let's see how it looks. I'll explain why adding these things made no change in the UI. I'll explain it in a bit. Just give me a minute. Okay, so now you can see things are moved through the horizontally, as I already explained. And this is a column. We want to align things here. We want to things here. So it will go like this. So we want to move it horizontally like this, not vertically. We want to move these separate things horizontally. Now let's say I remove these things. How it makes difference? Let's see. For that, to show the difference, show UI, system UI. Okay, so let's see how it looks without these things. We have aligned it to horizontally, like this. We have placed the things from here to here. That is horizontal shift from here to here. Okay, makes sense, right? Okay, so is there anyone who is struggling to understand why it's alignment? Like if you have any questions on why how it works. Okay. Okay, so now the things is aligned to horizontally, aligned to horizontally from here to here. That is from start to center. If you go to the other option, that is one is start. Start means it is here. That is the default thing. Center horizontal means center in horizontal, and the third thing is end. End means it should be here. Okay, so now, see, we were seeing the preview without this line, and adding this line made no changes. Now let's say uh, uncomment this change and see how it looks. Vertical arrangement. Now it should come to here, here in the center. Okay. Now it came to center. But in case of this thing, it makes no difference. In case of these things, it makes no difference. Why? Because let me explain. Once the preview rendered, let me explain why vertical arrangement is not visible in case of preview. Okay, so to give you a brief. Okay, so here you can see this thing and this thing. You understand, right? What I want to say. This thing and this thing is same in case of simple preview. Why? Because the default behavior for the compose is it will only take space that is required. So here what we are saying, we are writing we are asking this function to write a column. So what column will do? Column will calculate its style. So column will know that okay, I have to place text, that is here. I have to place button, that is here. And I have to place a text field, that is here. Okay, all these things are placed in this much of space. Okay, now column will think that okay, my work is done, I have this much of space available. So that is why these things is in definitely these things is in center, but the column has only this much of space available. That is why you are not able to see the difference. Now we are asking the compose to use the entire mobile screen. We are asking it to use the entire mobile screen. Okay, so if we use the entire mobile screen, column will have column will have the like here you can see the preview. Here we have the entire mobile screen. So the column will be in the center of the UI. Column will be in the center of the UI, right? If I remove it, it will move to the top of this thing, because you can see the default value here. For the default arrangement is top and alignment is the start. So top and start, this one, top one and start one. Okay, so this is for the column. And now let's have a look at the row. So if we have a look at the row, where is okay, this one. Okay, so again, row is in physical world, row is horizontal, right? So arrangement will be horizontal. So horizontal arrangement equal to arrangement dot center, and alignment will be vertical. Vertical alignment equal to alignment equal dot center vertically. Okay, and let me show you another interesting thing. Okay, so in this composable, we can see a row and everything will be aligned to the center once it finish the rendering, like this. Just let it finish the rendering. Everything will be in the center. So what we are doing, arrangement equal to center. That means this is our row, arrangement equal to center. That means we are asking it to here in the everything into center, not on the start, not on the end, and but on the center. That is why everything in the center. Again, if you use the system UI, you will get the more idea, because now it has more space available to view. Okay, now okay, so horizontal arrangement center, it means we are asking it to be here in the center, and vertical alignment center means this thing, not here, not here, but vertically center. Okay, let me zoom it so you can have more idea. Horizontal arrangement means whether we want to put it here, here, or here. And vertical alignment means where we want to align, here at the top, here at the bottom, or here at the center. So we are using the center value for both of these things, center, center. And this is the three things. That is why you are not able to see the exact like alignment. If you master, like if you once you master it, you will get the idea. But as of now, let me comment out these things. So we have two composable, so it will, you will see the actual difference. Everything will be aligned to the center, that is this one. Okay, see, everything is aligned to the center, this one, not here, not here, not okay, in this case, horizontal arrangement equal to not start, not end, but center. Vertical alignment is not top, not bottom, but the center. That is why it's here. And now you might think, here in the arrangement we have provided that arrangement dot center, sorry, alignment. Okay, if you okay, in the alignment, you have provided that alignment dot center horizontally, but if you try to provide the same thing here, it will give you error. Why? Because type is mismatch, required alignment dot vertical and alignment dot horizontal. So in case of column, what is the what is the class type of this alignment? Alignment dot horizontal. So there is one class called alignment. It has another interface called vertical and horizontal. So this alignment has horizontal and vertical. So in case of column, the alignment will accept alignment dot horizontal, and in case of row, alignment will accept alignment dot vertical. that is alignment dot vertical. That is why you cannot provide alignment dot center horizontally. You need to, because center horizontally, what it outputs? It outputs horizontal, and here you need vertical. That's why you need to use the center vertically. And if you go to this class interface value, it will return the vertical interface. That is we are seeing here inside the alignment interface. Okay, so these are the rows and columns and how to align the things. Okay, so any questions till this on
Hello,
aligning?
Rajesh.
Yes.
I have a question. So, in the column, can you show the column part?
Yeah, sure. This one.
In the column, we have the vertical arrangement as the center.
Mm-hmm.
So, if the text button and text field, three of them will be in the center.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want that only text and the text field should be in the center and the button should be at the start, is
Mm-hmm.
there any way I can do it?
Yeah. Okay, so let me come to that point. Okay, definitely. So let me hide this thing. Okay, and one thing I would like to mention, if you have any question, any like be it whatever silly questions you have, just ask, because if you don't ask, this class will be not useful to you, because whatever most basic questions you have, I will encourage you to ask the question, because it won't prove anything bad here, but it will just prove that you are eager to learn, right? So just ask the question, whatever the silly questions you may have, be it in case of UI or in case of Compose. I see there are multiple students here as well, right? I think there are multiple students here as well. So don't hesitate and don't think that okay, my question is what someone will laugh, or it's a more basic question. Just ask it, and I'll try to provide the answer. Okay. So with that, okay. So Bharat, your question was you want to place button to top and these two things to center, right?
Yes, yes. So maybe button to the start and the text and text field should be in the center, but only the
Okay.
button should be at the start.
Okay, button at the start. Okay, so inside. Okay, so to see and compose lecture does not mean just writing the code, but understanding how the things work. So your question is, let's say this is our column. This is our column. Your question is button at here, right? And text view and the edit text here. Okay, this is the UI you want, right? Correct?
No, no, not actually that.
Okay.
The three of them will be attached to in the center, but
Okay.
the button will be at the start from like at the start point.
Okay,
Like
okay. So
here, the
you
three of them.
okay, you can just do like this. Okay, let me show the preview. This is what you want, but everything in the
No, no, no.
center.
I meant that the alignment should be at the start. Like the button alignment should be at the start, but the text and text field alignment should be at the center.
Okay, okay. This I
Is
think
horizontal alignment, guys, right?
okay. So okay, so okay. So button you means like okay, okay. So you want the same UI. Okay, let me repeat it. You want the same UI, something like this. Text here, button here, and the text field here. Is this correct?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. I want yes.
Okay, great. But yes, Bharat, great question. So it will definitely help others to learn. Okay, let's say we want to build this UI. This is our button aligned to center. This is our uh, button aligned to start, and this is our text field in the center. So to build this UI, okay. So before we start, can anyone give me, and let me tell you one thing. Column and rows are basic composable. That means you can use it inside again as well. So inside the column you can have column, or you can either have the row, as many nested deep level as you want. So this is possible, right? Okay, so can anyone tell me how we can achieve it, if you based on our current understanding?
Bhaiya, I have one
Yeah.
idea that we can wrap that button inside a row, and then we can call the the arrangement
Okay.
for the horizontal arrangement
Mm-hmm.
at the start, and I think
Okay.
this should work.
And
Okay.
I have an idea. It's like basically three rows which are inside a column.
Mm-hmm.
So the three rows we can have these type of alignment alignments. Yeah. For the
Mm-hmm.
three rows we can have these alignments, and that row we can place it vertically centered.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. Thank you. So, see, as I said, Compose is a declarative UI. There are multiple ways to achieve the same things. Let's first go with the both of the see both of the answer are right and both of the things are possible. Let's first go with the what Sitam said. He said that use the text as it is, use a row for button, and use a text field as it is. So let's go with that solution and see if it works. Okay. So let's go with these things. Use the text as it is. Use the row for the button. Okay, now wrap the button inside the row and let this row fill the max width. I'll come to modifier later, huh? For those who don't know. Modifier dot fill max width and uh, sorry, modifier. What the hell is this? Okay, and arrangement equal to horizontal arrangement equal to arrangement dot start. Okay, let's see how it looks. Let's see the preview. Let's see column preview, column example, and see how if we achieve our end goal or not. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is what we want, right? Right, Bharat, this is what you wanted. A text field in the center,
Yes, yes.
button at the start, this UI, and the text field at the center. This is what we wanted. So this approach is fine as well. Use your text field, use a row. This is a row inside the column, and inside this row we are making this row to fill the max width. And okay, why I should have to use it, I'll just come it in this point in a bit. Okay, and we are aligning it to the start. That means the child composable inside the row should with start with the start horizontally, so it start with this one and not this one. So let's try to remove these things and see how the UI looks, why I have to include it. Okay, let's see how the UI looks now. Okay, so you can see we are not able to achieve our UI. The button is moved to here. Why? Because as I already explained, I am not explicitly declaring the row width. So what row will think? Row will okay. So see how the placement will happen. Column will start its implementation. Column will think that okay, I have to align everything into center and everything into center. So it will come to this point. Now it will show the text. That is text. Now it will go to the row. Now it will column will encounter that row. Now it will ask the row, okay, what composable you have? Row will tell that okay, I have one button. Column will place it. We are not providing anything related to row when you modify it to the row. So row will think that okay, whatever the space button takes is the amount of space I need. I don't need any extra or more space. So column will say okay, fine, uh, your button is uh, limited to the center, and this is what the space you will get. So row will say okay, fine. So that's why button is here, and then column will place the text field in the center. Now if you do like this, it will achieve our UI. Why? Because again column will try to place everything in the center. Column will again with this time place everything into center. Now it will come to the row will tell that okay, I need as much width as you have. Okay, row will tell I need as much width as you have, not what my not only what my child needs, but what you have. So column will tell that, okay, I have the entire space. Okay, and let me give you the entire space. So column will assign entire space to this row. So this, as you can see this blue line, right? This blue line visible to everyone. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, Rajesh, it is visible.
Okay, so this blue line is the row. Column will assign the full width to the row. So this blue line is the row, and inside the row, we are asking that our composable should start aligning from the this thing start. And now we are writing the placing the button. So row will place the button here. This button will be managed by the row, not by the column will itself manage this row. So row will know that, okay, I have full width, and I have to place the my child to the start, so it will place it here. Now the work of row is completed. Now again control came to the column because it is the parent. So column will place these things according to uh, as its alignment, so it's in center. Okay, so this is why we need to provide the full width to the row. If you don't provide it, row will only get the width as much as button needs, and buttons can contains here as well. So the UI won't be what we want. Okay, so this is how we can do. And now let's have a look at the another solution that we got from the Karanvir, right? Okay, so what Karanvir told, this is our Karanvir, am I right? You suggested the answer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what Karanvir has to say, see, first of all, I appreciate both the answer because it shows that you got the understanding of how layouting works. Okay, so Karanvir said that use three rows for each column, each components. So our text will be inside this row, our button will be inside this row, and our edit text field will be inside this row. So this is also fine. See, let's do and implement it. This is also fine. Let's wrap it inside a row, and we are not explicitly specifying anything to this row. That means it will use the same thing as this one. Here we are explicitly specifying things. And again, let us wrap it inside the row, and let's see how it looks. Let us render the preview. So again it will be the output that we desire, that we want. Okay, okay, see, the output is what we want: text in the center, button in the start, and edit field in the center. Okay, this is also possible, but here what we are doing is we are using two redundant rows, right? This row, we are not using any alignment or arrangement here, right? So why to use a redundant row? We just remove it like this. We, if here we are using arrangement and the modifier, that is why we need to use the row. We have no option. But in the case of both is these things, we are not using anything, and this row is just act as a container. So this, both of these two rows are redundant. Okay. So to the improve UI, go with this solution instead of the this solution. So it won't make any performance difference because all of these things are very fast. It won't make any performance difference. But why to use, ask yourself one question, why to use redundant UI when we don't need it? So that is why this approach is better, because here we are using the row wherever it is necessary. Clear? Okay, clear for everyone?
Yeah, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Will there be any performance impact if we use nested column rows? No, there won't be any performance impact because these things are very, very fast, and it will be laid out in kind of millisecond or even nanoseconds of time. So even if you write like 5 or 10 or 50 rows, there won't be any. Yeah, and this 50 rows park one thing in my mind. Okay, so let's say Let's try it out, what I've said is correct or not. Let's say this is our column. We want to, I'll show you two things here. The first thing is asked by the Bapaya whether it will make any performance difference or not, and the second thing is power of the compose. Okay, let's say we want to uh, we want to show the 50 items, 50 numbers. The first is we want to show the, my god, how can I write it? Okay, we want to do something like this, and then we want to, you got the idea, right? Like to, we want to write to,
I guess you can use a text box.
where is the text box? I'm not sure with this
Uh,
paint.
Yeah,
You can use a pen also. Uh,
Paintbrush. Sir, A.
Yeah, right, right, correct. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you whoever has suggested it. Okay, so let's say we want to do something like this. We want to print the 50 or 50 items in a column. Okay, so as I've said, compose is declarative. What does that mean? uh, it means you can use the Kotlin code inside it as well, right? So this is a column. We just want to print the text. Let's say we want, this is a text, right? Nothing else, no button, no edit field, just a text. We want to print it. So what we can do, create a column, create a Kotlin range. Let me start and then optimize it later because some of you might not get it. Let's say I'm running a for loop for uh, I equal to 0. I'm not even not sure with this for loop because I don't even use it. So I'm not sure about the syntax, but let me do it. Dot for each. Basically, we are running a for loop, and number, and we want to just print the number. Okay, we want to print the text, and number dot to string, because it accepts the string and number is a integer. So I've saved it. Let's see how the output will looks. See, you can see the output. 1 2 3 4 5 6 up to 15 is printed. Why it is 45? Because this is what this is the limitation of screen. No, it does not that it only printed 45, but it's limitation of screen. Okay, and we will see how to overcome it. But okay, so here you can see inside this screen you can see okay, so for understanding, let's say we want to print the 30. So it will print all the elements. So here you can see we are using the Kotlin for each, right, to output the UI. So this is the power of the Jetpack Compose. You can use Kotlin code to show the UI whatever you have, and there won't be any performance impact as well. Okay, so here everything is in center, center horizontally, center, and again we are printing 1 to 30, that is 1 to 30. This is how you build the UI with the compose. Okay, so row and columns clear for everyone, how to use the placements.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yeah, it is.
okay, great. Now what is remain? A box. Okay, so what is, we had a look at the rows and column for vertical output, rows for horizontal output. What if we want to place the items randomly? I don't want to place items vertically because there might be case, right? I don't want to place items vertically or horizontally. I just want to place it randomly. So this is where box come in. What is box? Box is here. Box is something, consider this as a box. Inside the box you can specify where you want to place the things. I want to place the things at the start, at here or here, or I want to place it here, whether here, whether here, or whether here, randomly, right? So this is where box come in. When rows or column not works for you, does not works for you, in this use cases box is important. So let's say Yeah, again, and this is a live template provided by Android Studio. If you write the comp, it will show the live template to create the composable function. So let's say box example. So let's call the box composable box one. We are not providing any modifier. Okay, and let's say we want to achieve something like we want to place one item here and one item here. We want to do, okay, so suppose this is text, this is button. Okay, so how in this case, see, in case of rows or column, this is possible. So let's say if it's a column, let's say if the outer container is the column, what you can do, you can do two rows, one, and for one rows sorry, arrangement is start, and for the second row arrangement is end. You can do with that as well, but that is one column and two rows. Instead, you can use box as well. So with box, what you can do, you can specify the position out of the nine position, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So if you want text here and button here, we can write text uh, high from top corner, and you can align modifier equal to modifier dot align. I will come to modifier later, huh? Alignment dot top start. Okay, and now we have, let's say, button, this thing. Okay, and we want, where do we want to align it? To the bottom end. Okay, so in the modifier we will align to bottom end. So there are nine position, right? And let's see how does it looks. Box example preview, box example. Let's see how does it looks. Okay, let us render it. Let me turn off the emulator, so it might speed up the processing. Okay, okay, see, you see this is on the top start, and this is on the bottom end. So our text is on the top start and button is on the bottom end. So this is why box is useful when we want to place the things arbitrarily in either of the nine position. You can use the box. Okay, so that is the use of the box and the row. Okay, so now we have okay, and inside each of these things you can use it well. For example, inside column you can use column again and again, and rows, or inside the column you can use box as well, or inside the box you can use rows and column, similar way, like this. Okay, and now you might be wondering, okay, so this is box, right? If you have any questions, we will discuss it. Where did my mouse went? Just give me a minute. What happened? Yeah, got it back. Thank God. Okay, so you might be wondering, what is this modifier thing I'm writing? Okay, so let's see, because it's in our fundament topics, modifier. So what does this modifier do? Modifier is, you can consider modifier as a thing that will decide how your composable will look. Whether you want to color it, like you want to provide a background color, whether you want to align it, whether you want to make them clickable, whether you want to make drag and pinch and zooming and all those things. These are the user interaction, right? UX and UI. So all those UI and UX, user experience, is achieved by the modifier. So let's see how it works. So let's start with our example. Not this one. Let's go with the column. Let's go with the column example. uh Not this one, but the but this one. Okay, so this is our UI, and this is our column UI. So we are seeing the preview here. Okay, now we have the preview of this composable. Okay, just give me a minute. Render. Okay, so preview here. Okay, let's say, let's suppose I want to brush this background color to the blue. Let's say I want to use the blue background for this column. So in with for the column I will use a modifier that will color the column to the blue. As I mentioned, modifier are the things that decide how the UI and the UX of your composable will look. So modifier is an interface, right? Modifier is an interface, and it has a methods, helper methods that you can use to output your UI. Let's say I want to use a blue background for this column. So I will use modifier androidx.compose.ui modifier dot background, and what it takes a color. So I will provide the color dot blue. Okay, I will provide the, let's see how these things will look. I want to provide a blue background, so it should provide. Okay, so now you got the idea, right? It has this modifier applied, where applied to the column. Okay, now let's say I want to use this blue background for button, for this row only and not for the column. So what I will do, I will just keep it modifier dot do something like this. Let's see how it looks now. Okay, okay, now you can see no output here, right? Because the row is because I've removed this line, and row is of the same width as my button. If I do something like this, you can see, oh my, okay, yeah, do modifier dot fill, and you can change modifiers, huh? You fill max width, then apply, and then we will come to one important topic of the modifier. Okay, so now how it will looks, let's see. We have applied modifier, fill max width, and then applied the background color. So here what we are doing, we are applying the background color to this row only. First we are filling the max width, then applying the background color. Okay, so to make it to let you understand, let me add one thing here. A modifier equal to, don't worry about this now, dot padding 8 dot dp. Okay, to this what we have done, we have asked row to acquire the max width and then applied a color on it. So row, first row acquired the max width and then the blue background applied on it. Okay, now you can see this. Now you will heard a statement lot of time, order of modifier really matters. Why? Because let's say here what we are doing, we are first filling the max width and then applying the background. Let's inverse the order. First fill the background and then fill the max width. Let's see how, let's see what happens. I use these things to show you exactly how it looks. Let's see how it looks. Okay. Mm, let the UI render, and okay, it's compiling. Okay, so this is making no change, right? Because either way it will apply to the background dot color dot blue and the fill max width. Okay, but let me think about use case that where I can show you uh, background dot color and okay, yeah, got it. Fill max width, then um, apply the height. Let's try to apply height of I'm not sure whether this will achieve what we want. Let's see how it works. If it works, I'll show you. I think in this case it won't work, and I'll need to think about the use case where I can actually show you why order of the modifier works, because uh, first filling the max width and using the background is not the same. So let's do something like this. I'm looking for the UI that exactly clearly tells the difference. Okay. Fill max width, then border and height, not height. Uh,
Hello.
yes,
I think maybe you can try to add a padding, then a background, then again a padding, then a background. Then
right, right,
maybe.
right. It do it. Yes, padding and then background. Let's say adding a background padding of 16 dp and then again padding of 16 dp. Yeah, correct. Thank you. So let's see how this UI works. Fill max width. Then we are providing some padding. Then we are providing the background, and then we are again providing the padding. Okay, so you can see the UI looks like this. We have first fill. If you click on it, where is this row? Okay, this is row. We have filled the max width, provided the padding of 16 dp. That is, this is 16, this is 16, this is 16, and this is 16 dp. Okay. Then we have provided the background color, and then again we have provided the padding. See, there is no concept of the margin in compose. Okay, everything is achievable through the padding only. So this padding will like in to for understanding, this will apply to this button. Let's say I want to apply this padding of like button. Every child composable inside this row will be padded by like inside the row with a 16 dp value. So let's see why order of modifier matters, because let's say if I move this from here to here, like something like this. Let's see how the UI looks now. This was our current UI. This is our okay. See, the UI changed. All of the things are same, just the order is changed. But with that, entire UI is changed, because now we are first background using the background color, that is blue, this one. Then we are providing some padding. Then we are filling the max width, whatever we have available. See, the max width is this one only, this one with the padding. But before acquiring the max width, we have provided the padding, and before acquiring the padding, we have provided the background color. So background color will be available to whatever width available to column, and that is the entire width. So we have applied the background, we are providing some padding, we are filling the max width, and then we are providing the padding to see that filling the max width, to prove that filling the max width is not same as filling this entire things. Let me show you. Let me add some border. 1.dp color dot red, and let's say rounded corner shape 8.dp. Okay, let's see how it works. We are overrunning by a few minutes, so we'll just start the Q&A. Okay. Okay, see, the fill max, in this case fill max width is not acquiring the entire max of the device, rather it is acquiring the max width available after placing the padding of the 16 dp. See, so now you can understand this fill max width is this width provided by the border. I have provided a border around the maximum width, this one. So we have provided first background color, that is blue, then we have provided a padding that is around this red border, 16, 16, 16 and 16. So we have provided, now we have acquired the maximum width, that is container inside this red border. Then we have provided the border, that is the red border you are seeing here. Again we have provided padding of 16 dp, and then we have provided this button. Okay, if I remove this padding, let's see how it works. Now the button will be at the start. This button will move to the start. So this is how layouting a UI in Compose works. See, the button moved to the start because I have removed the padding from here and from here as well. Okay, you got the idea, right? How layout works. Modifier works. We will as we will like move along, we will use the more use cases of rows and columns and layout box and modifiers and and all those things. But for now, do remember that modifiers are the things that define how the UI and UX of your composable looks, and order of the modifier really matters. You need to think what you need to, what you want, the what is your desired output, and according to that you have to provide the modifier. Because if you misplace the modifier like this and this, and like this and this, the your UI will be entirely different. Let's see this last use case. Your UI will be entirely different. See, now we are first using the padding, that is padding from every side, then providing the background color, then we are providing the background color. Now fill max width is the same as the available space to this thing, you can see, and there is one red border around it. Okay, so order of the modifier matters. So with that being said, we can conclude this today's session, where we have explained the composable annotation, what are composable function, what is preview, what is row, column, what is box, and what are the modifiers. Okay, so now if you have any questions, we will start the Q&A section. If you have any questions, or if you want to experiment or change anything on these things, we can do it. Or we have finished the session for the today. Okay, so if you have any question, you can just ask it now.
So Rajesh, so while doing padding side, so there is a padding which is given for all the sides, right? Can we give it right, left, top,
Right.
bottom?
Yeah, great. Yeah, great. Yeah, so you can do it. Let's go to the padding definition. This function called the old dp. Okay, let's say I want to provide the padding to the start only. So if I click on control P, it will show me the available option. So there are four options. Just keep the first one for now. If you want to provide padding to everything, provide this, use all function. you use this function with all parameter. If you want to provide horizontal and vertical padding, use this thing. Or if you want to provide separate padding for each side, use this one. Let's say I want to provide padding for start only, so I will use something like start.16.dp, and let's see how it works. It will provide the padding to the start only. Okay,
Okay, yeah, got it, got it.
got it. Great. Okay, so Varsha has raised a question. Varsha, you can ask your question.
Ye- Yeah. So how do we see that our preview in the dark theme? Do we have any property?
Yes, yes. If you want to see your preview in the dark theme, you can see something like this. Let me go to there. Name, group, withdraw. So background. Okay, UI mode equal to int 0. What is the UI mode? Night. Yes. Import. Let's see how it looks. We have used the night mode as a yes. That is, as you know, dark mode is represented as a night mode internally in the system, right? So if you want to see the dark uh, thing in a dark background, you can use the UI mode.
Sure,
Let's
thanks.
Okay. So let's see if it works or not. Mm, maybe no. So this is okay. No, okay, so no, 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 no. This is wrong. It's not working. I'm not sure exactly what uh, UI mode UI mode you need to pass. Huh. UI mode annotation. Uh, there was one another property as well, but I'm not sure. Let me search it. Yeah, thanks for bringing UI mode in Compose preview. It does not show the dark background preview. It works in the because they use the card which uses surface. Okay, we are not using surface or anything, something like that. Okay, and what is this? This is color dot surface. Okay, so to answer your question and to summarize these things, if you have any container that supports the material colors, like be it a surface or a scaffold or anything for that, if you use these things or cards, it should work. Let's try with the surface. Okay, let's remove this show system UI. Just give me a minute. Surface, and let's wrap it inside. Surface is any surface you want to build your things upon. So now it should work. UI mode night, yes. Because surface has the default color of the material theme dot color scheme dot the surface, and it is a surface is the material container in the. Okay, so now you can see dark mode, right? You can see the dark mode in the
Yes.
background.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can use the UI mode parameter of the preview, and you can provide any of this value from android.content.resource, and it will only apply if you have a composable that supports the kind of like material color scheme. Okay, that have the default value for this inside column. See, you don't have a direct support of the material color, right? That's why using a column won't affect if you remove this surface. But if you have the surface, it will respect the material color and it will show the UI accordingly. So if your composable respect the material colors, this will work. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay? Does it answer your question?
Yeah. Yes, and we can use it with card as well, right?
Yes, yes, you can
Or
use it.
no?
You can use it because card internally use the surface. See, let's
Surface.
see
Okay,
about the
got it.
card. Okay,
Mm.
because this card internally use surface. See, right? Card is
Yes.
built upon surface. So yeah, definitely if you use the card,
Mhm.
and you can see the card accept the colors. See, card accept the material colors. That means it respect the material colors. So if you use the card,
Okay.
you can do something like this, and it will also work.
Okay. And same with the which you already showed scaffold or something like that.
Yes, yes, scaffold also respect the material colors. So
Okay.
same work with the scaffold. It has the
So
container
all
color.
these components, yeah, all these components need color, and that's why it shows that night mode.
Right, right. It needs color. Correct. It needs a color,
Yeah.
and it provides
Okay,
the
got it.
sensible default value, so you don't have to. If you want to provide the colors, it's
Okay.
fine. But if you don't want to, it automatically provides the sensible default value. That is this card
Okay, got
color.
it.
So see here we are not
Okay.
providing any defaults value, but it is taking the value from the with these things we are implicitly passing the dark mode, and this for the dark mode this card will respect the material color scheme.
Okay, got it. Yes.
Okay, and Compose
Thank you.
has yeah, welcome. And Compose has automatic dark mode support for your application. If you don't know, see this automatically generated function check if your theme is in dark mode, and if it's in dark mode, it will automatically apply the color scheme for the dark color or lights color. So you don't have to manually handle it inside your application. If you have used proper colors in your composable, dark and light mode will be handled automatically.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Uh, so now based on this, maybe we can discuss it tomorrow. Like, what is the difference between card, scaffold, and surface?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay.
We will see those elements tomorrow, like
Yeah.
card surface. Okay. So anyone else?
Thank you.
Anyone is welcome.
Rajesh, can't we make this session 8:30 to 11, or can't we start at 8:30 if all members are agree?
See,
So that we can extend 10 to 15 minutes extra, right?
yes, but the timing is already decided, and see, there are
Okay.
lots of people who are having a regular job, and they may be return and get free time around 9 p.m. So that's why I thought to conduct it on 9 p.m. because this is suitable for everyone. If everyone agrees on 8:30, I have no issues. But
Only thing we can have another 10 to 20 minutes extra, right? Like we can 8:30 to 11, we can extend.
yes, yes. But even
Yeah.
with this timing, we can have 10 to 20 minutes extra because we are like as of now it's 11:20 p.m. right? So even with this timing, so if that is your concern, like having a 10 to 20 minutes extra, so this is like handled by this timing as well. But if your timing is like even with the question and answer, the session should end at the 11 p.m. We need to ask in a group if everyone agrees for
Ask
8:30.
it one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll ask it. Okay. So anyone else?
Thank you.
Anyone has any questions, or should we?
यस सर लाइक
Yeah.
इन बॉक्स जो बॉक्स में बाय डिफॉल्ट ओरिएंटेशन रहता है लाइक ओवरलैप रहता है या फिर वर्टिकल या हॉरिजॉन्टल
Right, right.
बाय
You are
डिफॉल्ट लाइक
by default जो रहता है बॉक्स में so okay, so what he is asking is what is the default orientation of the box. So the default orientation is the overlapping. So if you don't provide anything, and if you go to the box example, a default
Kind
alignment
of,
is
I
a
get,
top start. Okay, so the
can
top,
I think it like a frame layout?
sorry.
Can I think it like a frame layout?
Box, you are asking about box, right?
So can I think it like a frame layout because it's also like same
Yes,
this
yes, right,
time?
right, right, right. You can think of it like uh, just you can think of it like frame layout because it will align uh, what box will do. It will the default alignment is a top start and like uh, every and other things will be overlapped on it because we are not providing any column or rows or any alignment, so things will be overlapped on each other like this. See, the default is uh, top start, so everything will be placed at the top start and it will content will overlap on each other. If I want to use a column, I can use like this. In this sense, yes, you can think of it as like a frame layout. Now it won't overlap because we have wrapped it inside the column, and this column entirely is inside the box. So now it should work. So you just need to understand it. So okay, see, as the text is above and the button is the below because they are inside the column, and this column itself is inside the box. So the hierarchy works like this. The child composable will measure and place its child composable, and then it will be placed by the parent composable. Okay. Okay, so any more questions or okay, so if no questions, let me show you before we go what we will see today. Sorry, tomorrow. Tomorrow's main discussion points is stats and the recomposition. So the stats are at the heart of the compose. So stats are very useful in compose. If you want to hold any values, you need to use the stats. Right now we are not storing anything. We are just outputting the UI. So to store anything you need a state, and we have another concept called a recomposition. That is, you won't see the recomposition but it happens, and we will see why and when it happens and what you can do to make your app performative without doing too much recomposition. Okay, so with that, if anyone has no question, we can wind up this call and we will meet
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I had one question
Yeah, please.
that when to use surface and when to use scaffold, but as you said that you will explain tomorrow, so that's why I have not asked.
Yeah, we will definitely explain it tomorrow.
Okay,
I'll
thank you.
see what surface is, what scaffold is, and when to use what. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, great. Okay. So with that, I think we can wind up the call, right? Okay. So we will meet you tomorrow, and I'll share the recording after this session. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Good
Thank you,
night. Bye
Rajesh.
bye.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, sir.